Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. We are diving deep into the feed because today, the AI agent wars, they've officially moved right onto your desktop, and they are sending some serious tremors through Wall Street, too. We're rolling through the top buzz from the last, 24 hours to give you the context and, what really matters behind these headlines.
It really is a rapid-fire day. We're watching platforms get, disrupted and billion-dollar valuations shifting like almost instantly. Our mission here is to connect these scattered points and show you just how fast things are changing. It's exponential, really.
Okay, let's kick off where the stakes feel highest. High finance. These agents, they seem to be replacing the traditional grunt work of junior bankers, and the way OpenAI is doing it, it's pretty strategic.
Yeah, Ed Ludlow broke a massive story getting into Project Mercury. He posted a huge story. OpenAI's Project Mercury using 100-plus ex-bankers at $150 to train AI to build financial models for IPOs and restructurings, replacing junior banker grunt work. Contractors submit one model weekly, write simple prompts, and get feedback to refine the AI. It's exactly Project Mercury. And multiple sources confirm this. EdX6 quickly added some context, confirming OpenAI has quietly hired over 100 former Wall Street bankers, including alumni from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley, specifically to, write those prompts and train the AI system.
Okay, $150 an hour, that sounds like a lot, right? But I guess if you actually look at the total cost of a junior banker in New York, salary, bonus, benefits, maybe this is actually a bargain for super focused data creation.
That is the key distinction here, absolutely. The immediate thing to grasp isn't mass job loss for junior bankers, not yet anyway. It's more this fundamental shift in what their role is. If you're a finance pro, you're not just analyzing anymore. You're becoming a data generator, a model trainer. You're creating this proprietary, non-replicable data for OpenAI. And this whole effort, it's designed to give massive efficiency gains. We're probably talking like 20 to 30% for complex stuff like M&A due diligence, restructurings. That's huge.
So, okay, if you're still a junior banker, your job description just sort of became writing the instruction manual for the agent that's going to automate half your day eventually. That transition is happening right now. And it's creating this whole new asset class. The custom proprietary financial model. Wow.
Precisely.
That level of disruption in finance, it means the platform layer itself is vulnerable, right? And we saw that exact threat play out on the desktop. Google lost a staggering amount of money just because of one teaser tweet. Let's talk about this browser battlefield.
Oh, yeah. The market reaction was immediate, as Zevers9 put it very simply.
Yeah.
BRRU. Google lost over $100 Bs in market cap due to this tweet.
$100 billion just wiped out. Because investors instantly saw the threat, right? An AI-native browser hitting Chrome, and maybe more importantly, Google's ad dominance.
And the browser stirring all this up is Atlas from OpenAI. Aaron Levy, the CEO of Box, he showed off his power. He wrote, OpenAI just launched Atlas, a browser that has AI agents as a native capability. Now you can let browser agents take over your software and automate anything. Here's the agent using Box to automate folder creation for an M&A due diligence process. Sped up.
So the agent acts like this overlay, like an OS over your software. It just takes over. And this market shift is so fast, so violent, it actually lined up perfectly with another big acquisition. Kind of highlights the speed of things. Wilmanides pointed out the timing, said it was surreal. Browser company for $610 to Atlassian closing on the day OpenAI announces their browsers has to be a top 5-timed M&A event ever.
Right, the browser company, they make Arc, acquired by Atlassian for $610 million. And that deal closed the same day Atlas was announced. It's a pretty clear signal, isn't it? If you don't have an engine strategy, your platform might just get, encapsulate, wrapped up.
Okay, quick cultural beat here. At Creatin Cycle, who happens to share a name with this new browser, posted a great jab. You will be hearing from my legal team, ChatGPT. Gotta love the self-referential humor there.
Yeah, that's good. And, while the functionality sounds transformative, the tech community wasn't entirely without skepticism. There were jokes, memes flying around, pointing out that Atlas is confirmed to be built on the Chromium foundation.
Right, and for listeners, that technical jab, it matters a bit. Chromium is the open source base for Chrome, for Edge, lots of others. It means the core engine isn't really brand new. The innovation is that proprietary AI layer, the thing that fundamentally changes how you interact with the web and the apps underneath. They didn't build a new engine. Feels like they built a whole new kind of driver.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so if that first section was all about market disruption, this next part feels more about production reality. Who's actually running the big AI operations behind the scenes? And maybe it's not always the household names you'd expect. Yeah, check this out. Nato Lambert shared a quote from an interview with Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky, and it really grabbed my attention. Chesky said, "We're relying a lot on Alibaba's Qwen model. It's very good. It's also fast and cheap. We use OpenAI's latest models, but we typically don't use them that much in production because there are faster and cheaper models." Then Nat asks, "Is the Valley built on Qwen?"
See, that quote just cuts through all the marketing hype, doesn't it? When a huge company like Airbnb is running its actual operations, it's not about the brand name on the model. It's about efficiency, and efficiency at massive scale. Qwen, which, is an open-source Chinese-developed model, it's winning on speed and cost for this big, scalable business uses.
Oh, wait, are they sacrificing capability for cost? Like, is Qwen really good enough for everything critical? Or is this more for, internal stuff, things customers don't directly see?
That's a really crucial question. And for a lot of internal processes, things like classification, summarization, maybe creating initial draft tasks you need millions of times a day, the tiny quality difference between a super optimized, maybe smaller model like Qwen and a huge general model like GPT-4 might be negligible. And when you scale that up, the speed and the cost per token, well, that becomes the deciding factor. It really highlights how fast the model layer itself is becoming a commodity, almost. And US-based models might be losing a bit of ground in the actual production environment because of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Speed, cost, scale. Which leads us right to the infrastructure you need to actually manage all these agents. Because the platform layer, coordinating all this complexity, it just hit a massive valuation. At 17 announced new funding for LangChain. Today, we're excited to announce new funding for LangChain at a $1.25B valuation to allow us to build the platform for agent engineering. LangChain started as a single Python package 3 years ago.
$1.25 billion for what started as a Python package. That tells you exactly how critical this agent engineering layer has become. It's not just a library anymore. It's the orchestration platform. You need tools like LangChain to handle the complexity, to string together multi-step actions like gather data, analyze it, then summarize, then act on it. And maybe most importantly, handle all the ways things can go wrong when AI agents start messing with real-world software. That valuation means the market gets that agents need robust management to actually be reliable.
And that agent platform layer, it's driving huge, like immediate ROI, not just in boring spreadsheets, but in visual stuff too, like marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. At Recap, David gave a perfect quantifiable example right there in the feed. I built an AI system that automates product video creation for entire e-commerce catalogs. Saves $30 per collection shoot, increases conversion rates by 40% on sites. Here's how the automation works. Firecrawl scrapes product photos.
Okay, that 40% conversion rate increase, that's astonishing. That's immediate profit boost.
It really is. And industry benchmarks back this up. Video, especially for e-commerce, things like fashion, it just massively outperforms static images. It builds buyer confidence. So this AI system gets rid of those expensive manual photo shoots for collections. It makes high-quality video scalable for the entire catalog.
Yeah.
Automation here isn't just saving costs, it's basically a revenue engine.
So the focus is shifting, right? Away from these big aspirational AI moonshots towards practical, almost template-driven automation. We're seeing this even with internal guides getting released now, like the one at a dish highlighted from Perplexity. Perplexity just quietly dropped a 42-page internal guide on how they actually use AI at work. What I found most useful, how they automate the small stuff, email, meeting prep, research, all done by AI. People want those tactical, immediate wins. They want the templates for using AI in Gmail or Salesforce just to kill those tiny tasks that eat up, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That internal guide, probably more valuable than a product announcement for the average person right now.
Yeah, practicality rules.
All right, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk culture, the chaos, the human side of all this tech, starting with a founder's story that, expected failure, but hit massive success. We got this great narrative from @Kobe. When I started building Echo 2 years ago, I knew it had a 95% chance of failing. To be honest, I couldn't really imagine any other outcome, but I thought at least it may be a noble failure worth attempting. I certainly didn't think Echo would be sold to Coinbase, but here we are.
Wow. That $375 million acquisition for Echo. That's the dream outcome for a noble failure, isn't it? It really speaks volumes about the pressure founders are under, where they're like internally hedging against a 95% chance of collapse. And Coinbase, they're moving fast to integrate that talent. Brian Armstrong, the CEO, followed up saying, Base is building private transactions. We acquired the Ironfish team back in March 2025 to start working on this. More to share soon.
So integrating privacy onto their Base network makes sense.
Yeah, leveraging the energy from the Ironfish acquisition, now the Echo team. It feels like a crucial move, especially with all the ongoing loud regulatory noise around stablecoins and the need for compliant but still private ways to transact. They're just aggressively building these core features while the regulators are still kind of debating the basic rules.
Building while the regulators debate. Yeah, that's the Silicon Valley way, isn't it? And that whole ethos kind of leads us to this stark contrast between the US and Europe that Adam Wathan captured. Founded 10 years ago, $9 valuation, will only start worrying about sales tax next month. The European mind cannot comprehend.
Huh. Yeah, that company's Vercel, a $9 billion powerhouse.
Hmm.
And they spent a decade focused purely on scaling, on growth, before they even had to really tackle U.S. sales tax collection in the states where it's required.
So why is that incomprehensible to the European mind, as he puts it?
It really comes down to the heavy regulatory burden in Europe, specifically VAT, value-added tax. It's applied at every single stage of the supply chain, in every individual country. So if you're a small founder, maybe selling digital goods, managing 27 different VAT systems right from day one is just this massive administrative nightmare. It often forces small projects to just shut down or maybe just ignore the EU market entirely. The U.S. flexibility lets you get huge first. The European system often demands compliance first. It's a really big cultural and economic difference.
Yeah, definitely a different world. Okay, let's wrap up with the culture of work itself and maybe a bit of public life drama. At the Primogen posted something that clearly hit a nerve with thousands. This is my first question when I'm interviewing. I have kids, I have a beautiful wife, had a broken family growing up. Yes, this is important to know. I am not joining a meat grinder, Craig.
That's such a direct challenge to that old school, maybe antiquated meat grinder culture that still persists in a lot of high growth tech places. This post is hitting home because candidates are realizing, hey, setting boundaries, asking about work-life balance, that's not weakness. It's actually a necessary filter. It weeds out organizations that are just going to lead to guaranteed burnout. You're screening the company just as much as they're screening you.
Totally reframes the power dynamic in the interview. If the company kind of flinches at that question, well, you know exactly what you'd be signing up for. Okay, and for some pure viral catharsis, we have Post 33 from @phrase. This is just universal public frustration in a tweet. I finally did it. Someone was talking on the phone with a loudspeaker sitting close to me while we were inside the bus, so I joined the conversation with full confidence. When she gave me that, "Are you mad?" Look, I said, "Sorry, I thought it was a group call since you put it on."
Oh, man. That post got over 5 million views because literally every single person listening has suffered through that exact scenario.
Yeah.
It's the perfect passive-aggressive takedown. Genius.
Absolutely perfect. And finally, a quick-fire complaint that honestly needs no explanation from @yourboykg. Are the developers at Outlook happy with their search function?
Yeah.
Based on the replies and, frankly, personal experience, the answer seems to be a very loud no. That pain is truly global.
Seems like it.
Okay, we have covered a staggering amount of ground today. We really saw this narrative of the AI agent takeover just materialize, from automating complex financial models on Wall Street, using ex-bankers no less, to completely reshaping the desktop browser experience, leading to that $100 billion market cap hit for Google.
Yeah.
The platform layer is just collapsing or maybe transforming.
Yeah, we saw Google lose $100 billion, basically in response to an OpenAI teaser. It just signals that the speed of disruption is, well, exponential. So the question for you, the listener, is this. If the platform itself, the operating environment you use every day, whether it's your browser or your core software tools, if that's now fundamentally built around an AI agent, what's the next major piece of static software that's going to be completely disrupted, maybe almost overnight? Think about the apps you rely on daily that still make you manually click through a rigid interface. That feels like the vulnerability now.
Keep that thought in mind as you navigate the feed today. That's the Daily Vibecasting for Tuesday, October 22nd. We'll be back tomorrow for another deep dive into the buzz.